with the completion of the Wraith Knight, decided to stay in the world of Warhammer 40,000 for a bit, and even along the night theme for a bit. This time around, I'm going to be working on something considerably smaller than the Wraith Knight. What I'm going to be working on is 2 sets of the Age of Darkness Knight Armigers. The box contains 2, and the parts to build either the Warglaive or the Helverin variant. And I'm going to be doing 2 of each, and then splitting them among my Space Marine and Sisters of Battle armies as allies. Like with most Games Workshop kits, there are a lot of sprue. Now in this case, the sprues are kind of misleading because you've got enough parts to do 2 full models here. But I'm going to stop rambling and get started. Okay, at this point, the first 2 main bodies and hip pieces are finished. Surprisingly, there are more than just, I guess I should say unsurprisingly, there are more than just a few parts going into these. Like the fact the exhaust stacks are actually 2 pieces, so you can have hollow exhausts. Unlike some other models, these do not have a cockpit option, so the cockpit is completely closed over. The hole in the top is for a gun mount that hasn't been built yet. We're getting there. And here, joined to the hips, we have 2 basically completed leg assemblies minus the armor. One thing I like about the way they made this kit is you put the legs on to either side so that both models aren't striding the same exact way, just mirror images of each other. Okay, leg assemblies are now complete. Armor plates in place. Ordinarily, I'd think about keeping the armor separate, but as small as these pieces are, I'd rather not risk losing them until, I'd rather not risk losing them. Because I did, you see the 2 little linkages underneath the legs there? You'll note there's only 1 on this one because I lost it. It's somewhere in the carpet monster. So that's why I've gone ahead and put the armor on the legs. At this point, the leg assemblies are finished, barring me finding that missing piece. And we will move on to the weapons. All right, at this point, all the components have been built. Not going to put the arms on yet, so I can make so they're easier to paint, which means I also can't put the shoulder pads on yet. The heads, there we go. The heads can be individualized with multiple different faceplates possible. You've got options for melt-a-gun or heavy stubber on top, which is what the hole in the top of the carapace is for. But at this point, these little guys, the Helverins at least, are ready for paint. Okay, picking up from where I left off, I've gone ahead and glued the torsos onto the legs from the Hell set. And on the Warglaive set, figuring that the legs and torsos would go together pretty much the same way as they did there, didn't bother recording the progress. These are also to the point now where the torsos are glued to the legs. Legs are fully assembled, and in this case, I didn't lose either of those two little shock absorber things. In this case, though, to help break things up a bit, I did tear up some cork and put it on the bases. I may go back and do the same with those just because those flat bases are kind of boring, but this is where we're sitting. Okay, at this point we have the arm weapons, carapace weapons, and heads ready to go. Like before, I'm holding off putting the shoulders on till after paint so that I can actually, get the arms in place. I deliberately built these to mirror each other as far as the weapon loadout goes. Although it's easy enough to flip them around. I've got the leg armor in place now on the legs. And these guys are now ready to head for paint. Alright. I haven't completely primered the bases because they're going to wind up covered with basic material anyway. But I have the coat of black primer from the AK Interactive line on. All 4 Armigers and the first set of Armiger accessories. These will all get dusted in a minute with some lead belcher. Okay, at this point, the dusting of lead belcher is on, all 4. I've taken the shoulder pads off, which I just had blue tacked on for the purpose of painting them. And we are now pretty much ready to start our color coats. Okay, after further ado, and not really feeling like doing a whole lot in the heat the last couple of weekends, I have finally got the Warhammer 40k Knight Armigers finished, detail painted, sealed, and all that wonderful stuff. Alright, as you can see, I have 2, one of each, the Warglaive and Helverin, painted up for the Hell Hounds chapter of the Adeptus Astartes, and the Helverin and Warglaive I have painted up to work with the Order of the Blessed Flame of the Adeptus Sororitas. The Hellhounds Knights had the leg and opposing shoulder picked out in gray, with the rest of the armor plates done in Games Workshop Black Templar. Trim was done in Vallejo brass. Bases were coated with PVA glue and then dipped in sand to help hide the look of the cork. Same is true on the Blessed Flame versions as far as the bases go. The colors were poppy red and Vallejo brass for the shoulders as well as the trim. The poppy red is from the Army Painter's speed paint range. I went in and picked out the eyes of all 4 in poppy red as well. Dry brushed the Melt-A-Gun set parts with Vallejo burnt engine, actually. Or sorry, jet exhaust is what it was. Vallejo jet exhaust. And other than that, you know, you've got some very nice detail on the Armigers all the way around. Excuse me. I painted in the, for lack of a better term, cockpit window. It's more so you can see in, to see how the pilot's doing than for the pilot to see out, because they're actually relying on the optics from the front end. All in all, they went together fairly well, fairly easily too. The one thing I would recommend is not putting the shoulders on until you've got the arms in place. I did wind up having to put some glue in the joints of each of the weapon arms to keep them, I mean, they'll still move up and down, but to keep them from dropping to the sides. All in all, though, it was actually a fairly quick build. Just didn't feel like fighting the heat to get it done. As I'm starting to ramble here, I will put some stills at the end, and thank you all for watching.